Survivors are entitled. Let me explain. So I was just scrolling through TikTok the other day when my cousin Mungo sent me a slideshow with laughing emojis. I click on it and it says, a list of killers who I'll always DC or go next on hook against because they're boring to go against. And before I get to this person's list, let me just say, a list? I understand maybe like 2 or 3 killers you dread going against, but a whole list? What are we doing, gang? This is just sad. So why don't we get into this list and see what this guy was laughing about. Ghoul. He's super cheap and gets that supersonic dash that closes the distance between you very quickly and gets a guaranteed hit on you. No thanks. Don't get me wrong, Ghoul was super strong on release, but with all the constant micro nerfs and add-on nerfs, I think he's in a good spot. He's still really strong. The only thing that makes him feel cheap is he's a super good slugger, but that's literally just because slugging is the most effective way to play killer right now. He's just a glorified Legion. So let's see how this person feels about Legion later. Huntress. All they do is M2 fake and it's not fun at all. I also hate projectile killers. Alright, so you hate Huntress just because they fake using their ability? That's kind of weird. If the Huntress is faking their hatchet, there's quite literally no way for them to hit you. And since they're faking it, they're constantly slowing down because they're faking using their power. I'm just confused. I'm genuinely confused what this guy is talking about. It might just be a skill issue, gang. I'm not gonna lie. I think she's really fun to loop, especially because the good ones make you super hyper critical and it's kind of scared to loop them. That's what makes it so fun, but that's just my opinion, I guess. Trickster. Do I need to even explain why he's boring? Not really. We all know why, but disconnecting against this killer is hilarious to me, or giving up against him, because yeah, his 1v1 is insanely strong, but that's kind of it. Going against a Trickster is almost a guaranteed 2-man out every time. Singularity. I despise this killer so much you'll never catch me staying in a match with him. Is it because he's a killer that requires you to use your resources wisely? Is that because he forces you to play smarter? Huh? Don't get me wrong, Singularity is very, very strong, but not so strong to a point where you can't do anything to this killer. He kind of just forces you to play smarter and use your resources and not be brain dead and hold W and pre-drop, but okay, you don't like Singularity, is what it is. Spirit. She's invisible and way faster than you, and you stand no chance against her when you're injured. Count me out. This is the only killer so far I can actually like somewhat agree with. Not with the go next part, but with the injured part. As soon as you're injured, you're as good as dead, bro. No cap. Twins. Nah, I'm not even gonna read it. I deadass agree with this one. This is the killer I never want to see again. I wouldn't DC, but yeah, if there was one killer where I could avoid them, like if there was a avoid option for certain killers, this would be my killer for every single slot. Nurse. Extremely unfun to play against. The people who play her are even worse. I'll take my penalty. I'm not gonna lie, I also think she's really boring to face. Some people tell me they love looping her because it's unique than any other killer since you can't use pallets or windows. I wholeheartedly disagree because the nurse player is either a 10k hour sweat being toxic, or it's someone who isn't amazing at her so they only get 2 hooks but end up securing 1 or 2 kills because how OP her power is. Plus, I have resources to keep me alive and keep me safe. I would love to be able to use them, and against nurse you're just guaranteed to go down within 10 seconds anyways. But you'll never catch me going next or DCing against her because the more I play against her, I feel like it gets slightly better every time. Sorry, my mic is a little far from my face. Sorry if I sounded a little quiet. Blight because he's just like nurse. His power isn't fun to play against. The people who play him make him even worse. I'll go next, thanks. Okay, I personally love going against Blight. I don't play him at all anymore because he's kind of just boring to play now in my opinion. But saying the people who play him make him even worse, what is that supposed to mean? Every Blight player I ever go against just want to play a fast-paced killer. How dare someone who loves speed play speed? Sure, they all run the best perks and add-ons and slug, except for that's literally every fucking killer nowadays. I can see how some people can't play around his power, especially if he has the speed add-ons and he's played so much, but I've never actually gone against a toxic Blight before. I know there's some out there obviously, but the people who complain while playing Blight, yeah, those people need help because he's been so strong for so long. You know what they say, just play Blight. Lich. Okay, wait, how are we gonna go from the top 2 killers in the game to a B tier killer? What are we doing? Picking up pallets? Yeah, no thanks. I'll take my penalty. Okay, I'm starting to see a trend here, but I'll mention that at the end. Lich's powers aren't even all that strong for real. It's just a combination of them all make him really decent. With his cooldowns, he can only pick up like 1 pallet per chase, so if you're going down against a killer with 1 chase power that is telegraphed and the other one that you can duck, you might need to see some improvement in your looping capabilities. Clown hinders you and blinds you, and his base kit includes coming back to every unhook and tunneling. No thanks, I'll go next. Okay, so now we're disconnecting against bottom 10. And tunneling in his base kit, I don't know what MMR you play at, but I'm pretty sure tunneling comes in every killer's base kit, I'm not gonna lie. And that was the end of their list, and almost everyone in the comments was just flaming them. And of course I'm gonna hide their names in their profile picture, and I'm gonna tell you guys to not go looking for them to send hate their way, because yes, we're shitting on their takes, but going after them as a person to hate on them is not what we're gonna do in my channel and in my community. That's not what we're about. But we're gonna keep shitting on his take, so let's get back into shitting on him. The main thing I noticed is what these killers' powers are made for. Blight, chase and mobile. Nurse, chase and mobile. Kaneki, chase and mobile. Spirit, chase and mobile. Lich, chase and mobile. Clown, chase, barely mobile. Twins, chase, somewhat mobile. Singularity, chase and mobile. Huntress and Trickster, really good in chase, although they're not really mobile at all. What I get from this list is you hate killers that force you to play smarter in chase, and I'm gonna look even deeper. Nurse, though, I agree. It's a genuine skill issue, don't get me wrong, and I have that skill issue too. I lose to Nurse in every game, but she'll always be the strongest killer in the game, and that will never change. Blight, honestly, the only thing that makes him feel so oppressive is how often he can use his power. They nerfed Kaneki after a week because using his dash after breaking a pallet is too strong, but Blight isn't. So Blight can break pallets and instantly dash afterwards. So I can see why people hate playing against him, especially because of his pick rate, and he's overused a lot, and his speed add-ons are always on somebody. You have Kaneki up here, but not Legion. Oh, is it because you have to be smart when looping Kaneki opposed to shitty M1 Legion because Kaneki has mobility? You also have Huntress up here because Huntress players just M2 fake. So what about the actual killers that always M2 fake? What about Nemesis, Pyramid Head, Deathslinger, Houndmaster, and especially Demogorgon? Spirit, she forces you to use your actual ears instead of just pre-dropping palace and holding W away. She forces you to use sound to your advantage, try to trick her. Don't get me wrong, she has little counterplay if the Spirit has 200% volume on their headset and they're running Strider. Clown is good in chase, but he cannot pressure more than one person at a time. Literally just pre-drop pallets and he can't really do anything. The blind effect on stream from the pink bottles is not that crazy, especially if you're running windows of opportunity, which half of all Survivor players do now. Also, coming back to Hook and tunneling being in his base kit, are we dead us right now? That's every killer's base kit. Not only that, but every single killer you've listed goes back to Hook faster and tunnels better than Clown. So like, saying something like this just makes you look like you don't know what you're talking about. Lich is a wild card in my opinion, because where the fuck did he come from? Just because he could pick up pallets, disconnecting against this killer because he could pick up a pallet, maybe don't drop the pallet. Twins, insanely good in chase, can pressure a whole team, can send Victor across the map so there's decent mobility there. But I agree, Victor is pretty strong. Plus, this killer is annoying, and I generally just hate the design of the killer. So if I had one killer I could avoid forever or take out of the game, it would be Twins, low key, high key, doesn't matter. Trickster, because he's strong in chase. Oh, just wait until he finds out about Dracula. In Singularity, this killer isn't straight just like Demo or Nemesis, where you could put him in a get hit or give me the pallet situation no matter what. But you gotta be smart in terms of, is he gonna swing early? Is he gonna make me drop it on his head? Is he gonna let me pre-drop? Can I take this window? If I do, can I make it somewhere else? Is he gonna TP? Is there another loop? Do I EMP this? Do I EMP my teammate? Do I EMP the camera on my gen? He forces you to actually make decisions and not pre-drop pallets and just hold W. This killer literally does what Kaneki and Blight does with extra steps and a little more counterplay, and that's literally it. This killer makes you play the game. And another thing we all notice is most of these killers are insanely good, like top 10 killers, or they're killers that are like really good in chase. Nurse, Blight, Kaneki, Spirit, Twins, 60% of his list are top 9 killers in the game, but they are all good in chase and or have good mobility. But where is Dracula, Pyramid Head, Plague, Legion, all these killers that are regarded as being dreadful to go against? Knight, where are they at? Ghostface, Trapper, Oreo, Skull Merchant, Pig, and where's Dredge on the list? Well, they're not gonna be on the list, because those killers you can shut your brain off and loop, pre-drop, and hold W against with little to no consequence. I'm surprised Hag and Knight aren't on the list. Well, if I'm being completely honest, I'm surprised over that half of the roster isn't on this dude's list. Maybe they wanted to do it, but they didn't want to get flamed too bad, but still, 25% of the playable killer roster you're just gonna instantly DC or go next against and just give up? Dude, that is just sad. That is entitlement. Even almost all of the comments was just people shitting on them. Basically, I want to play against Trapper, but I hate when he uses his traps. 3 to 4 killers is acceptable. I don't like my fair share, but 10? Don't play DBD. I'd give maybe 1 or 2 killers auto DC against, but 25% of the roster, gang, grow up. You do realize you're playing a co-op game with other survivors and you're just fucking them over. Survivors when the killer is in a 4-hour Trapper whose counterplay requires effort. And then he replied and said, well, it's a good thing I don't like Trapper. He's stale. I'd take him over every killer on this list though. Of course he would, because he's trapped. I can't wait until going next has a penalty. That's fine. I'll just stand still, open up another game until the match is finished. Number 1, you're still gonna be punished for being AFK the whole match. You know that, right? And number 2, that's just sad. I didn't even scroll through all the options, saw 11 slides, and I'm assuming bait. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking this was rage bait, but he's genuinely like replying to all these comments with like this smart ass attitude. So like I had to make a video on it. But back to what I said to clickbait you into watching this video. Survivors are entitled. Obviously not survivors are fucking entitled. Obviously there are also some entitled killer mains. I just wanted to point out there are survivors out there that would literally rather whine and not play the game and throw because they have to face something they don't like or aren't good enough to face. It's like playing Mortal Kombat and disconnecting if your opponent chooses Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Kung Lao, Baraka, Jax, or Johnny. What are you playing the game for? It's like playing 2K but you give up if the opponent picks a team which has a future Hall of Fame player on it. Like, what's the point in playing? It's like playing Jerkmate ranked and giving up when the opponent uses the 2-hand oiled up finger curling twist herk and jerk reverse technique. What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? But the worst part about this is a different game at its core. MK1, 2K, Jerkmate solos, it's against one other person. So who cares if you disconnect? The other person is still gonna get granted the win. But in DBD, it's an asymmetrical game. If you as Survivor just give up and don't try, you're ruining the experience for other players in the game. And that also goes for you Survivors who will go down kind of fast at the beginning of the game and instantly give up, like the game still isn't fucking winnable. Yes, you bought the game with your money and you're gonna play however you want. I could care less about that. But if you're gonna ruin the experience for teammates you choose to play with by clicking on play as Survivor, then you need to find a different game to play. Going out of your way to make your teammates' games worse is just fucking sad. This kind of entitlement is what ruins things. And it's not a Survivor only thing. There are some killer mains that also have this type of entitlement. Gens go too fast, flashlights OP, med kits uncounterable, pallets too strong. Yes, I heard a killer say that pallets are too strong. How dare the Survivor have pallets? So don't be like this Survivor. No matter if you like the killer or not, you can't force the other side to play whoever you want them to play, and learn how to play against more killers. If you don't want to, then find teammates to play with so you can ruin their games, not everyone else's. If you guys have any videos or TikToks or anything like that about a whiny entitled killer main, I would love to make a video on it, so send them to me on TikTok or put a link in the comments. I would love to make a video on it. I'm also making a hot take video. I've already gotten a lot of them for my last video and my post that I put on YouTube, but I need more hot takes, so if you have some, the hotter the better, put them down in the comments. The video is cooking up. And again, don't try to find this person and send hate. That's not what we're gonna do. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I guess we on the road to 10K subscribers. Thank you guys so much for 6K, and other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you have a good day. Wait, was I recording? Oh, I was. Holy shit.
It started when we were younger.